Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I've always considered myself pretty unshakable, a pragmatist. When my friend Phoebe would tell me about her vibes or strange coincidences, I'd just nod and secretly chalk it up to an overactive imagination. So, when the relentless grind of my job finally pushed me to the brink of a full-blown burnout, I didn't seek out a spiritual guru or a therapist. I booked myself a week at a remote, off-grid cabin retreat in the Blackwood Mountains. It was called The Solace, and the website promised exactly that: solitude, nature, a break from the digital world. No Wi-Fi, spotty cell service, just pure, unadulterated quiet. Perfect, I thought. Just me, my books, and the chirping of birds. I arrived late on a Tuesday, the winding dirt road finally opening up to a clearing where a collection of rustic cabins stood. My little two-bedroom looked exactly like the photos, nestled amongst ancient pines. The only other person I saw upon arrival was the caretaker, a tall, impossibly thin man who introduced himself as Dante. He emerged from the shadows of the main lodge, silent as a whisper, making me jump. He wore a dark, clean uniform that seemed out of place in such a wild setting. His smile was wide, almost too wide and utterly fixed. His eyes, though, were what truly unsettled me. Dark, like polished obsidian, and they didn't seem to blink often enough. He didn't offer a handshake, just gestured towards my cabin with a long, unnervingly smooth hand. "Welcome, McKenna Keller," he said, his voice flat but clear. "Rough week at the firm. You look like you need a proper break from those spreadsheets." I froze. How did you know about the spreadsheets? I'd only mentioned my stress about them to Phoebe, and definitely not on the booking form, which was handled by an automated system anyway. Dante's smile didn't waver. "It's our job to anticipate our guests' needs, isn't it?" he said, the reply too smooth, too practiced. He then mentioned my cabin had a new, extra fluffy comforter that I'd requested in an email. I hadn't requested any such thing. I just brushed it off as a clerical error or a very weird guess, probably a good-natured attempt at making conversation. I was tired. I just wanted to unpack. The first couple of days were blissful. I hiked, I read, I cooked simple meals, and I actually felt my shoulders unknotting. But then the strange things started. I'd leave my hiking boots by the door, only to find them perfectly aligned on the mat the next morning, soles wiped clean. My favorite mug would be meticulously placed in the cupboard, even though I swore I'd left it by the sink. Small, innocuous details, but they chipped away at my sense of solitude. One afternoon, I was sketching a particularly vibrant cardinal that had landed on my porch railing. When I went inside for more charcoal, I found a small, crudely carved wooden bird sitting on my bedside table. It was undeniably the cardinal I'd just been sketching. It wasn't there before, and when I picked it up, it was cold, unnaturally so, as if it had been carved from frozen wood. I put it back down, my heart thudding. Later that day, I tried to call Phoebe, feeling a prickle of unease. No signal. I went for a walk, feeling the need to clear my head. As I walked, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The forest was too quiet, the birds I'd enjoyed earlier were silent. I rounded a bend, and there, standing perfectly still at the edge of a thicket, was Dante, just watching me. He didn't wave, didn't move, just stared with those obsidian eyes and that unblinking, fixed smile. My blood ran cold. I quickly turned and practically ran back to my cabin. That night, I barricaded the door with a chair and tried to sleep. The sounds started around midnight. Soft, rhythmic thumps from outside, like something heavy being dragged. Then, a low, drawn-out scrape across the wooden porch. I held my breath, clutching a heavy flashlight. I heard a faint, guttural click from just outside my window, a sound that made the hairs on my arms stand on end. I peeked through the curtain, and there, silhouetted against the weak moonlight, was a figure. Tall, thin, and unmistakably Dante. He wasn't looking at the cabin. He was looking up into the canopy of the trees, his head tilted at an impossible angle. My phone finally got a single bar of service the next morning, long enough to confirm my worst fears. My car wouldn't start. The engine just clicked. I marched over to the main lodge, determined to demand an explanation from Dante to report these unsettling events. The lodge was empty, no sign of him. I saw a small, handwritten note pinned to a corkboard by the reception desk. It simply read, "McKenna, don't worry, I know what you need, and I know what you are." Fear, raw and primal, coursed through me. I wasn't just being watched, I was being hunted. I went back to my cabin, my mind racing. I was trapped. I had to get out. I spent the day trying to fix the car, but it was useless. As dusk settled, I heard a tapping at my cabin door, 3 precise, deliberate taps. I didn't move. A voice, Dante's voice, came from the other side, clear as a bell, though he sounded like he was speaking through a slight echo. "McKenna, you admired the cardinals so much. Such beautiful plumage. Did you know their hearts beat up to 1,000 times a minute when they're truly frightened? Such a delicate, fragile thing." I pressed myself against the wall, terror paralyzing me. I heard a faint squeak and then a soft, wet thump against the door. I squeezed my eyes shut, hearing another tap. 3 this time. Then silence. I stayed there for what felt like an eternity. When I finally dared to look, I saw a small, crimson feather impaled into the wood of my door, directly in the center, with a single, dark, glistening drop beneath it. I don't know what he is. I don't know what he wants. But he's here. And he's waiting. I'm still at the cabin, my phone battery almost dead. I haven't seen him since, but I feel his eyes on me constantly from beyond the dark trees. I don't know how I'll get out of this, but I know one thing. I'm not just a guest here anymore. I'm part of his collection.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.